I'm going to go ahead and block out the undercuts on my maxillary cast. I have a high survey line here. I need to block out below that survey line. There are usually undercuts on the posterior of this molar, so I'm going to fill it in. I'm going to over block it out because I'm going to use that wax trimmer to make sure that I've got it parallel, and I want to have enough wax on it. I'm going to come around, fill in this undercut here. And I want to come around that buccal surface because that's one of the primary areas that people run into problems, right? At this corner angle right here, not getting it enough to block out that undercut right there. And I am carrying it around a little bit to the facial to block out that undercut in case my triad goes into any of that area when I'm trying to make it come down that line angle right there. I don't want triad over here, but if it happens to get there and gets into that undercut, it'll rip that tooth off. And kind of put your instrument against the tooth and do this. Well, my green pen had more of a problem. I didn't realize it was water soluble. I thought it was one of those little permanent markers. I didn't check it carefully. But let's go ahead and block out some more of these undercuts while that lower cast is soaking and getting wet. I can still see my survey lines. I want to make sure that I get the wax below the survey line and block out that undercut. Wrapping around this tooth again, just in case that triad gets in, finds its way in there. I want to remove some of that excess if I can. And if I lay that instrument flat and kind of angle it just a little bit, I know I'm getting my undercut, but I also can minimize how much excess I have. These line angles are areas where you can get caught into those undercuts. Just adding a little bit more to make sure I have those undercuts blocked out on this. I'm going to block out just that free gingival margin a little bit. Now I do have undercuts on the proximal surface here, so I'm going to make sure that I get those blocked out all the way up to the survey line. This is one of those areas where that material will sneak in and rip my canine off. Now come on over to the other side. Again, I can still see my survey lines. I'm going to come up here. I've got a really high survey line on this side. And I need to wrap around that facial surface also. I'm just kind of eyeballing it to get some of that wax spread out so I don't have to do as much trimming with my wax carver. On this side, I have undercuts along this part of my tooth right here. And into the embrasure. There's a little undercut into the embrasure. looking at all these undercuts, and I'm going to flow some more on the buckle of that premolar right here. And let's take it to the surveyor. I have taken it to the surveyor and lined it up so that my wax carving instrument is at the same level as my 3 tripod marks, so that I've reproduced. And I'm going to trim my wax back to the tooth surface. I want to make sure that I don't have any triangular space of light when I hold this wax instrument against this tooth. I want to make sure that I have no triangular space of light beneath it, or I have an undercut. So the critical place is this corner right here, because that tends to be one where an undercut remains and you don't realize it. And then that material sneaks in there and rips off that molar. Do all around. Remove that excess wax. So it's blocked out parallel. Make sure there's no undercut here. You can do that on the lingual. Remove the excess wax from the lingual. Make sure no triangular space of light under there. Well, my cast is a little wet, so some of my wax came off. I'm going to have to add a little bit more back there. You should definitely do your wax, block out, and then soak the cast afterwards. Now right in this area I have a good undercut. I can see a big space of light in between here. That means I want to carry some more wax down there. Same way over here, I've still got some pretty good light in there, so I'm going to go back and add some more wax to that area. I now have it blocked out relatively parallel, and I don't have any undercuts in these areas where the base plate can latch onto my tooth, and I think I'm pretty safe on all these areas. So I'm basically ready to do and apply my triad